Okay, Baba, this is a big one. A lot of times I hear people, complaining about or just speaking about the aspect of money in this religion or tradition. Can you talk a little bit about that, like when it comes to like money offerings and paying for things in this religion?
Yes. I'm going to talk about it, and I thought long and hard about me putting out prices of ranges
Mm-hmm.
because it varies, rightfully so, you know, um, and everybody has a choice. But I think I've been around enough to see the changes, what it used to cost, what things cost now, and I'm not just isolated in my bubble. I work with people in the major meccas of the diaspora in Florida and in New York
Yes.
and in some other places in Atlanta and all these other places that I've talked to, and I know the pricings. Even sometimes in Cuba, so I can give you a range with respect to I know how it's done in different areas, not just well in Chicago we do it like this,
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, why is money charged? Why can't we just do it for free?
Right. Good question.
The achedi, the money offering.
Mm-hmm.
In everything there's a sacrifice. In everything there's an exchange.
Yes.
If I were to say from now on, everything's for free, I would have everybody and anybody trying to get a reading, really not valuing it. They're like, yeah, I need a reading. Can you give me a reading? I want to ask about this. Okay, sure. Oh, me too, me too. I'd be booked till for a year.
Right.
Imagine if everybody did things for free.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that there are costs for things, right? Um, there's a cost for ingredients. There's a cost for attributes that needed for ebos. There are costs. There was a cost. That cost was me studying for 20 years. That was a cost. I put 20 years into 1 hour for
Oh
you.
wow. Mm.
Okay. My intent, why you're paying for, what would you, like, I remember one time I was helping someone out who had a terminal disease, and I was helping out them, and I had to do some major remedies, and I felt bad, you know what I mean? But I was like, this is a lot I'm doing, and these people don't have a lot of money,
Right.
but they were willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was like about, I think it came out to like $200, something like that. It's a long time ago, and I felt bad. Or like, well, they were like, well, we can put together, like, we want you to help. We believe in you. You've helped out someone else that we know, and my father is sick, and my sisters, and we'll come together with the money for it. Don't worry, you know. And I've always struggled with that, And my godfather said, "What do you think doctors charge to solve that problem?
No.
What do you think they charging in the hospitals? Do you think that if you don't come up with 20,000 for this surgery, that they're gonna do it?
Right.
If you don't have the insurance?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you give respect to who you are and what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they can't do it, then you make a decision.
Right. Yeah.
So you know, uh, begrudgingly,
Mm-hmm.
I had to. Even me, I'm getting emotional.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
with the money that people sacrifice. I don't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take for granted when someone has to come up with the hard-earned money.
Right. Yeah.
For something that they need.
Mm-hmm.
It sometimes breaks my heart. And I know that they tell me, I put it together the money. I got it. I want to get right by you. And chasing me to do their cleanings. You know what I mean? With that being said, I've done a lot of things for free. When someone doesn't have the money, a lady has come to me and said, "Listen, I believe in you. You've helped me out. I put together this money for the reading. I was able to scrape it up together, and I'll come up with my groceries. I got this money coming in later. That's gonna be my groceries." I said, "You kidding?" In my mind, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "They did. They sacrificed. They put the money on the table, and I give it back to them."
Right.
I said, "You keep it."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. People don't see that.
When it comes, they don't, you know what I mean? And things cost money, you know, they don't understand that a Babala has to do remedies to himself.
Mm.
I have to clean myself. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to spend hours and hours of learning and educating and putting myself into to help you and to give a solution. You know, these animals are going to cost something. Whether I'm cleaning you with a yele, meiji, fufu, 2 white birds, and letting them go.
Right.
You know, those people price gouge us. Okay,
That's true.
man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like $70 a bird. You know what I mean? So how do I tell someone? How am I going to come out of this okay where I got to feed myself, my family? I don't want to overcharge you. I'm being fair. And I'll never tell you got to receive something you don't got to do. I built up my reputation. There were times I didn't have anything.
Right.
Living in my store.
Yes.
Looking to pay rent. Have a baby. In my carrier. And someone coming to me and telling me, desperate, I'll pay you $1,000 for this. I need you to do an amarre, which is like a love spell and a tie. To please, just do it, you know. And I know in the back of my mind, I'm 2 months behind in rent. You know, this is during the real estate market crash in 2008. And I'm like, I said, listen, I got to even ask if I can even help you. And I asked Ifan, I'm like, I can't even help you with this. There are other things I can do to help you. I said, no, I had to turn it down. People coming to me desperate. I think I need a paralgo. I think I need a certain exorcism or type of remedy and pay you. And I'll come up and be like, listen, I actually asked with the rula, I clean you with the tail of a ruby. That's all I need. You need to do. It's free. You know? Because I respect Ifa, respect the gift. And I know that Ifa will bring to me the blessings of being able to live. You know? And the reputation will provide itself. Many Odus of Ifa where Rumila was criticized by the other Babalaos for being honest. And they would say, you need to charge. You need to charge more. You need to, you're selling yourself short. Sometimes you got to lie a little bit. After a while, in that same story, in that same Pataki, those Babalaos started getting ridiculed for things not working out the way they said, and for them complaining and coming after them, and they kept going to Arumila because he was honest, and little by little he gathered them all. Because they said, we want someone who's honest.
Right.
But there's a lot of experience behind that. It's like saying, you know, you can't beat an old doctor who's been around. Another an old doctor who's been seeing you since you were little, who knows your body, who's done the experience, who's seen all scenarios and can prescribe something. I remember there was a mechanic, and I had my car up, and I was hurting for money. And this mechanic, young one, oh, you need new brakes, you need new calipers, and new rotors. They're all grown out, and they were all looking at it, taking a lot of time. The owner, the old mechanic, he was like stepped out. He was old Mexican. And he came in, walked around. They just need pads. They'll be all right. And it was true. I just bought new pads, new brake pads. And it lasted me another 6 months, a year without needing new brakes. The sound went away. The car worked fine. And he took 2 seconds. Sometimes they can just listen to an engine.
Right, yeah.
You can't read that.
Right.
You can't study that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That comes from experience. When I see these Odus, I've seen them manifest. I've seen the experience of the evolution of these Odus for different people over time, different scenarios, how they work with each other, how they don't, how they work in Ide, how they work in a soul, how they work for the person. I've seen them. I've seen the stories. I've seen the messages. I've seen the experiences. I've seen the evolution. I've seen the power that I can see in Odu and have a good indication of what's going on. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Arula sees in me being honest, and he's gonna favor me. Arula, listen. At the end of the day, you lose favor with your Ori. You lose favor with Arumila when you're doing things out of greed, titles, and ego. We're all human, but you can't fake genuine. You know, and you have to pay sometimes for that. You know, there's a time. You know what things cost. You know, and at the end of the day, there's And also that teaches us why things have to be charged.
Hmm.
When Rumila used to travel,
Mm-hmm.
he used to travel and go to different areas and different lands and looking for people who needed his help. And one time he came across a town it took him a long time to get there. And he arrived in the middle of the night and he had to interrupt them from their partying and they're having a good time. He says, "Hi, my name is Arumila. I've traveled long and far to get here. But is there anybody who needs you?" And they immediately interrupted him. "Oh, we know who you are. You're Arumila. You're here to look for people who need help. Does it look like we need any help? Look how what we're living."
Ooh.
Having a good time. Arumila was fed up because this was happening often, way too often.
Mm-hmm.
And as tradition would be, he would stay in that town, spend the night, just food, room and board, help everybody out for free,
Mm-hmm.
and then move on. All he was needing is a room, some food, and shelter, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And he traveled. He said, "That's it, I'm going back home."
Mm-hmm.
People who need me, they know where to find me.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, someone became very ill, very sick. And they went looking for him when they were being sober. And like, "Where's Arumila? We heard he was here. He was here last night. Where's he staying? Is he staying with you?" And he realized, "No, listen, he left."
Mm-hmm.
He went back home. They went to his house. They said, "Arumila, there is someone here. We do need your help."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Well, I was there. I was at your doorstep.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to bring the person to my doorstep.
Huh.
And you will pay some of that money that you were living so well for to show me proof
Mm-hmm.
that you value your health over your money."
Mm-hmm.
And that became the token. That became that. And there's usually always a coin outside the table of Arumila to show that, they valued that and they put up that offering, that achidi.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of times people don't have money for it.
Yeah.
But they're buying shoes, they're going on trips. One guy told me, I remember I got so mad because I don't have money for this and I want to receive that, but I don't have it. And he bought 4 new tires on his car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, rims, that had special rims. They were fancy rims or something like that.
Oh,
His vehicle and everything else. And the person went to the Bahamas
Mm-hmm.
2 months later
Yeah.
after complaining that I was trying to charge him, like $100 or $150.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that's in the Odu Osarete. And since then, people have to show proof that they value. And then second, they go to the Babalawo's house.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what things cost,